I spent from 1993 to 1995 just anxious because I knew I had to do this, right? There's not a choice. Once you look, you can't unlook. And 1995, I got a call late one night from my sister-in-law, Sherry, who told me my 9-year-old nephew, Andrew, had attacked a little girl on the baseball field for no particular reason. And I'm like, what? And she said, Danny, he's different. He's mean. He doesn't smile anymore. I went into his room today and found 2 pictures he had drawn. One of them, he was hanging from a tree. The other picture, he was shooting other children. So if you think about it, he's Columbine or Sandy Hook or Parkland, Florida, waiting to happen. And I'm like, I want to see him tomorrow. And they lived 8 hours from me. So they brought him to me. I'm like, buddy, what's going on? And he's like, Uncle Danny, I'm just mad all the time. I'm like, is anybody hurting you? No. Is anybody teasing you? No. Is anybody touching you in places that shouldn't be touching you? No. And 999 child psychiatrists out of 1,000 would put him on medicine and therapy. And because of my experience, I already scanned 1,000 people at that point. I'm like, he's got a left temporal lobe problem. And so I'm like, I held his hand while he held his teddy bear and got scanned. And he was missing the function of his left temporal lobe. I'd never seen it. I've seen it 100 times since then. It turned out he had a cyst the size of a golf ball occupied in the space of his left temporal lobe. And I told his pediatrician, I said, you find somebody to take it out because he wasn't in my neighborhood. And he talked to 3 neurologists. All of them said they wouldn't touch the cyst until he had real symptoms. At which point, I lost my mind, and I start screaming at the pediatrician. I have a homicidal, suicidal child who attacks people for no reason. What do you mean real symptoms? And he got anxious, and he said, I think they mean like seizures or he loses consciousness. I'm like, serious? And in my head, I'm like, neurosurgeons will do stuff. So I called UCLA, talked to the head of the pediatric neurosurgery department, Jorge Lazarev, and he said, Dr. Amen, when these cysts are symptomatic, we drain them. He's obviously symptomatic. And after the surgery, I got 2 calls. One from my sister-in-law who said the surgery went really well, and when Andrew woke up, he smiled at her. She said, Danny, he's not smiled for a year. And then I got a call from Dr. Lazarev who said, oh my God, Dr. Amen, that cyst was so aggressive that put so much pressure on Andrew's brain that thinned the bone over his left temporal lobe. So his skull had been thinned. He said if he would have been hit in the head with the basketball, it would have killed him instantly. Either way, he would have been dead in 6 months.